Welcome to Oz. Remember the movie, what was it, The Return to Oz or something? It's got this real dystopian, forlorn, and forsaken look at the very end, or I don't know. I was 8 years old when I saw it, but here we are at the, I'm sick. I got sick 2 days ago. I have a head cold, so bear with me here. Just, yeah. Not as bad as this guy's Teddy Roosevelt, who gave a speech after being shot. So I imagine he said, bear in mind I've just been shot. Hang in there with me while I finish this speech. Yeah, he had in his breast pocket, he had a little notebook in his breast pocket where I think he had written the speech out, and the bullet hit him dead center of that pocket, slowed the bullet down. I don't know how far into his chest it went or if it went at all, but he was shot and they wanted to get him out of there, and he said, no, I'll finish. It's right there. Did you guys see at the Waldorf Astoria, the guy, you were witnessing theater when that guy came out, the manager, he was looking at his pocket square, pretending to absent-mindedly fix his pocket square. I gotta say, yeah, nice suit, and I like the beard. It's a good look, and usually the British manners are the best way to manage a hotel. Not in that situation. Not in that situation. It's clear when you saw it, it's clear that you were watching me on video, and it was clear I was getting it in. You don't have to pretend like we just met. There's no need for the British niceties. We're getting it on, and you just tell me so. I'll need to see your key, sir. And if not, if you're still stuck on British matters, then you say, I need you to make haste and gather your things and leave, without the least delay, In American ways, you get the fuck out now. If we see you again, we'll crush your skull and then call the cops. It goes something like that. We don't have to pretend like you just met me and we're just getting acquainted. I was putting my dick up your ass. You don't have to pretend. And I'm sure you guys won't make that mistake again. And it's good. It's rare to find a character like myself. So let me offer some consolations though from what I saw. One of the best security responses I've seen in DC was you guys. And I've seen just about everything there is. Number 2, you ipso facto failed. That's got to be even harder on you guys this morning and last night, going over the tape over and over and over again. And then when you're in bed and you wake up thinking about the tape over and over and over again. What the fuck just happened and why was he doing that? So it's got to make it harder on you because you guys do show up to care. That guy, so at 3:09, the guy pretends to walk out just absentmindedly. Oh, hi, sir. At 3:37, you see what looks like their fucking all-star. I mean, that guy, holy crud. I wouldn't want to do 10 rounds with that asshole. I don't think come on. There's different things that make a soldier. When Julius Caesar went up to fight the Gallics, put down the Gallic, I think that's French, right? He said, I got to tell you this. The commander comes out and tells Julius Caesar, I got to tell you something, pal. You might have some advanced jumps, and you practice this shit around the clock. These warriors have not. They're proud of their homeland. They haven't slept indoors in 14 fucking years. So it's a little easier to let them know you're in for a different battle than you think. No, I don't eat, sleep, and breathe Mortal Kombat. So. But yeah, getting a look at the guy at 3:37. Now, watch his footwork. I might be reading a little too much into it. He looks former military. So here's where they're checking in. And there's a guy in front of him checking in, and he's here. Watch his footwork. I'm near the bathroom with the guy I met at 3:09. I'm walking this way, and his feet are like this. And as he knuckled his cards very, very well. But obviously you can't show a person like me that's with that aggressive your back. you'll see the footwork. Watch his right foot. He just opens it up just like that. And then at that moment, he shoots me a glance and gets a look, and he sizes me up. And I think he was I hate this part. At 337 and a half, he appears somewhat relieved. Like, okay, thank God he spends more time, eating pastries than I do. But footwork is important in sports. When you're in the batter's box or you're golfing, and you're definitely, when somebody wants to knock your ass over, he just sort of opens up his stance like this and shoots me a glance. And then I hate the half second later, I hate the part where he looks somewhat relieved, like, fuck, good, thank goodness, I think I can, even if I was to be harder on myself, I'd even go as far as saying he was hoping that I'd create a problem. But that's what he gets up for every single day. And I think he was waiting for the signal from the guy at 309, the Dapper Dan. Yeah, you put a lot of grease in that beard, buddy. Yeah, just walking through, checking my pocket square. Let me say something further that would greatly alleviate. You guys are not idiots by any measure, okay? Two things. Now stick with me. The first thing, one of his last speeches, I think, to the Jews, he says, you guys are hard-headed. He says, beware, your sins will find you out. And that technically in the first 5 books, it was Numbers 32:23. It just means when you cheat God early on, it's going to find a way to bite you in the ass later. Now, I'm talking specifically about the United States government, which right now, after watching that last video, has got to be banging, they're apoplectic about your poor performance. Let me share with you how you can shove that right up their sweet ass. And you say, well, your sins found you out. Let me help you just a little bit. And I didn't know if I was going to say all this. I wanted to save, a little bit of a surprise later. And it's still, I think it'll play out nice later. So, yeah, I have limitations on some of the things I can say, and it makes it very frustrating to talk. Doesn't it have a nice forlorn look, This is where First Manassas, the very first battle of the Civil War, ended. They ran them out of Virginia right here, and they came right here. I imagine partly to hide their shame. You can't run downtown and everybody's staring at you while you got whipped on the battlefield. So this, if you're a cocksucker, this is known as the end of First Bull Run. The North calls it first. There's 2 battles: First Bull Run, Second Bull Run. The South, who was trying to be defeated by a tyrant in I almost said Mark Zuckerberg. Abraham Lincoln. They call it's First Manassas and Second Manassas. That's how I prefer to remember it. So if you guys look like if the Waldorf feels like the cocksucker here, you're not. Let me show you. Let me tell you why. Moses said, there's one more Bible verse before I alleviate you of some of your great suffering. Another Bible verse is, the battle does not go to, the race does not go to the fast, and the battle does not go to the strong. So that their ace that appeared at 337, he looked like a fucking Salamanca twin, did he not? Can you help me out there? You think you want to fight one of those cocksuckers? Look like a fucking Salamanca twin, man. Holy, you can't tell me though. He's like, he eat, breathes, and shits this stuff. A prize fighter has 6 months to make weight. That cocksucker wakes up every single morning and makes weight. Whew. So let me help a little bit. We'll call it One Strange Loop. I saw a cover of a book once. I never read it. Can't read them all. It said One Strange Loop. He's like a physicist or something. He said, weird, Yeah, you can see, they say math is God's language. And I wish I could understand it because it would open up some things for me. But anyway, One Strange Loop. When I woke up yesterday morning, they said, pack your shit. We're going to do a deep clean today. We're like, fuck, man. Well, I run through some of these hoodies, I was introduced to the hoodie game late in life, but they're kind of fun now, I don't know. Yeah, early on in my career, I had to dress like the assassin at 337. The Salamanca twin. I didn't realize I was doing it all wrong. I didn't know. It's just so plastic and so forth. But that's the part of his look. It's his attire to work in the Astoria. That's where that's how you look. But yeah, strange loop yesterday. I wake up, so then I run through these hoodies. I'm like, well, I have just picked up my suitcase, and I open it up. And I said, let me dig out something. You know, I can keep some private reserve in there. I have that old, it's not old, it's relatively new. It's a gray hoodie from Ralph Lauren. It's $140 or whatever. Bought one for myself at discount and one for a good friend. Yeah, Mark, another guy struggling with homelessness. Bought him one. And it was just interesting, though. I hadn't worn it in 6 months, you know? And for some reason, I remembered that I always wear a white t-shirt, a white long sleeve tee underneath that thing. And I'm like, well, it's a new year. So, you know, it's November 19 today. I will. Yeah, the last time I wore it, it was, I don't know. I'll wear a black long sleeve tee. So yesterday had on a long black sleeve tee underneath that zip up hoodie. I don't know what you guys call that stuff. I'm not hip to all that. I didn't think too much of it, but Jesus had treated me funny yesterday. Because we had a pretty good day the day before, and I was like, what a lot of people don't understand, I feel like they probably struggle to listen or maybe don't care, is the hardest thing for me in all of this is the purgatory jump. Here's an eagle right there. Purgatory jump. It makes it more and more difficult for my life. If you can imagine, you need to keep a person, before you get into the presence of God, you'll need to be relieved of all the pleasures that you have taken in a sinful life. You're not invited into the presence of God until you've been purged. That's what purgatory, it's a root word of purgatory. It's purge or purgation, you purge, it's been removed. Like dross, you've been heated up. Incidentally, I've seen my grandfather, Jesus, it's an extraordinary event. I don't want to digress too much. I saw him, you can imagine my grandfather's in purgatory and he is, let's say it very politely, he is uncomfortable. So for me to kick ass, like Teddy Roosevelt, and put my foot up the military's badunkadunk, you can imagine how pleasing that could be. Especially if we were pretty rotten, huh? That's satisfying. So Jesus has to, all day long, I get breaks. I'm made to feel miserable, you know? No kidding, as soon as I have put my foot up your fucking ass, I got one that kicks me in the ass. I hate being reminded of my sins. They're fucking miserable. And it's hurtful. And it makes me very, very sad. Day to day, that's the most difficult part of my life. This shit's fun. You can imagine that. If kicking the military and the United States government in the ass was hard, me and Jesus would have no problem. It's because it's so much fun, my days and nights are made to be fucking miserable. I get visited by demons and so forth. It sucks. So it's just ipso facto labor, just because of the purgatory jump. It's been so bad at times, I've secretly pondered to myself, maybe it would have been better for me just to go to purgatory. I'm dead serious. It just sucks. Jesus makes it Mary makes it very doable. She's the one interceding on my behalf. Okay, please ignore, she's there to say, I understand you're a sovereign God. Please let me remind you how broken and hurt he is. This, as I was told the day he made me a saint, he says, this, I need you to console me. That's what Mary does. She consoles him. I don't understand the math, but there's clearly a transaction that takes place there. Back and forth. Thank you. And again, before we get to helping out Waldorf Astoria's security team right now, he said clearly, I need to hear from you. I need to hear the United States of America. 3 judgments will be visited upon the United States of America for what the war atrocities and the human rights violations, amputating and torment and destroying and lives, killing, maiming and murdering people that had not received trial, and doing it apparently for glee. You need the only thing that will help me here, will console me on what happened, is if they go to Mother Mary and seek her intercession. Please, that really hurt. Please, Mary, please. Crap. Oh, gee whiz. 2 nuclear bombs and 1 wild card like a new AIDS. Again, the Tokyo drift. He says you tell them it's in man's nature to drift from God. They've drifted so far. I'm not going to spare their Tokyo. Like you were kind. You exercised some mercy on Japan by not bombing their Tokyo. They've drifted so far. We'll call it Tokyo drift. You tell them I'm not looking to spare their Tokyo. I've tried to express yesterday. I see DC as a strong candidate, and that could be bad psychology. It's just all of DC is pretty much a virus, living off of hardworking people and serving crooks and criminals in the financial centers and in the defense centers. There's not, it's different in Philadelphia, where the nation's capital was. It's different in Berlin. It's different in New York, where the nation's capitals are. DC there's some land out there, let's go build a federal city. It's all a cancer here. And so in some underhanded way, he might go, let them keep the cancer, we'll bomb. You take it from there. Something that they really, okay. Learn Ave Maria, Hail Mary. Ave Maria is in Latin. Get a rosary, get it blessed. Find out when you want to get a loan for a project, what do? You talk with the bank. What are all the pedigree documents? What everything are you going to need from me and my organ? You'll need the LLC that we're creating, because we intend in 10 years for this thing to go obsolete and go tapioca, so we can move the money elsewhere. What will you need? You talk to your attorneys. What do we need? You talk to a priest. Do you talk to just one attorney? Nope. I'm not sure that attorney knew what he was talking about, and I want a better read on this. Talk to more than one priest. What would you recommend? What would you do if you just heard this? I've already talked about on Sunday how I would approach that. Print out the prayers. They're different on different days. There's slight changes on Monday through Sunday to the Hail Marys on the rosary. It matters that you have it blessed. It matters that you're on your knees. I don't know very much about the statues. I would say here it's very much like this. We have no problem telling the old moose here, thanks for your hard work, this and that. Okay, well, let me put it this way. Jesus appears to have no problem with it. It's all over the Catholic Church. I get on my knees. I pray to Mother Mary by looking at and being in front of. They have it in their catechism. You show reverence or you whatever. I don't have the slightest fucking problem with it. They don't appear to have a problem with it either. More than one time, after my prayers, Mary has emerged from the back of it to kiss me. Or on one occasion, I was at St. Patrick's downtown there, and it was the reproduction of the 500-year-old Tilma from outside Mexico City. I prayed in front of that, and I walked away. And your prayers, it goes on for a while. I walked away, and she appeared about halfway down, and she did a really fun, like, karate chop. Like, in my family, that's how you tease or slightly flirt or whatever language you want to use. It was just really nice for her to say, that's playfulness in my family is, hiya, whatever, I don't know, however, but, the Greek term, you ever seen the Greek term iconoclast? So it's two words put together, icon breaker. So iconoclast would be like somebody kind of like, it's like a maverick, a modern day maverick. But I think how that came about was the pendulum swing in the church. I think the people became angry about, I don't know what, I don't know all church history. I'm new to Catholicism. They got angry with how things were going, and they were breaking the statues of Mary and the other saints. That's where the word iconoclast comes from. It means icon breaker. So that was their kind of a revolution, I believe, away from the Catholic Church. I'm not certain, but that's where you get the word. I've got no problem with it. We went so far the other way to where God and Jesus and his laws and showing reverence to his mother, which he has demanded. I mean, so here you have a different type of course correction. Let's run the world like it's a fucking carnival. Okay, well, yeah. Yeah, so to the platinum grade assassin at 337 and the ho-hum manager at 309, let me just say that he looks like he goes to bed all night, every night, looking at Hoist Gracie reruns. Hoist Gracie was like one of the first MMA fighters, and he could like choke anyone out while using his shirt. Is it what they call a gi? It was just like a master. He would be on the ground. He would like invite you to tackle him. It was like the worst thing in the world. It was like reverse, get you on Hoist Gracie, get you on the ground. And then I'm sorry, just the guy at 337 looks like he goes to sleep all night. Listen, yeah, it's white noise watching Hoist Gracie submissions. But let me help a little bit. The very last time I wore that zip-up hoodie was the day of the State of the Union address. And I had been going at it with the War Department, beating the dog shit out of Warpinski for at least 10 days. We'd been going at it. I'd been going to work every single day at the Senate office building. We talked on the phone a couple times. There were some text messages. I would tell, man, you know when you have a winning hand, And I told him, I said, I wish I could show mercy on you, man. I said, but these victims that I'm hearing about, it would be an insult to them. I'm sorry. People say he's too nice. That's some criticism I've received. There's some truth to it, but you misunderstand. Yeah, I'll burn your place down with a smile on my fucking face. Is that too nice? Homeland Security has a picture of me in that fucking gi at the Waldorf fucking Astoria. It's one of the only photographs they have of me. Hold on, I got a guy to my 6 there. Stand by. Moreover, I sent that message over to Warpinski, a picture of me at the Waldorf Astoria. I had just shoved it up the War Department's ass, and I told him, I don't remember, it was basically up your, I said, enjoy, here I'm at the Waldorf, why don't you enjoy the speech while you bitches bleed out on the ground, or I can't remember what, it was bad. I was just pounding away on the cocksucker. It's one of the only photographs they have. They have my ID from Oregon. The last one was from Oregon. Jesus, several months, it was like November, December. He goes, I need you to throw out your Washington, D.C. ID. I did not follow that up with a question why. I just threw it out. I threw out my Washington, D.C. ID. So then I had to use the one I had left over. It was my Oregon ID. I didn't know, I had no idea what was coming. Several months later, we pulled this most epic burn on Washington, D.C. history. Use your own judgment. If you prefer a better or worse description, go with it. But Homeland Security, FBI, Secret Service, Marshals, everybody rolls me out of bed, middle of the night. And then we go to an office room. There were 6, 7 or more, at least 6, 7. And they gave me the 3rd degree, right? They shit their pants when they heard they work at the Senate office building. Made threats against that's when I knew the Navy put a move on their own fucking people, on Homeland Security and FBI, Secret Service. The War Department was fucking everyone else in the ass. When the guy in the back shit his pants, they said, and where do you work, sir? I was like shocked he didn't know. That's why I thought they were from fucking Fort Meade. It's the only thing that could explain why they weren't crushing my fucking skull. I thought they were going to say, we've been monitoring it from Central Maryland. Can you please tell us what's going on? I was like excited to see them. Excited to see them. And then I'm like, wow, this is a curveball, a split finger cotton puff. I don't know how to swing at this. This guy just shit his pants when he heard I work at the Senate office building. I'm like, oh my gosh, the War Department's putting a move on Homeland Security. All the other FBI, the alphabet soup is underneath their umbrella, you understand? And everybody was in that room. I couldn't believe it. And I even said, is the fucking Navy here? And the guy, gentleman, kind of soft-spoken, kind of seemed nervous or something. He didn't really want to look at me. He goes, yeah, Navy's here, sir. I go, it was fucking everybody, man. And they asked for my ID. I didn't think once, but Jesus had told me 3 months ago, I need you to throw that out. So I hand my ID, his Oregon address. And he says, is there anybody here that, I said, they may be, my family owned that house. He said, can I talk with, he says, can I talk with people back there about you? I said, you do whatever the fuck you want, but you don't have my permission. That was it. He says, can we look through your phone? I said, buddy, I'm going to shove this up. No, you're not looking at my fucking phone. You need to ask Warpinski why he hasn't shown you his phone. Be sure your sins will find you out. They have 2 photographs of me that I know of. It was a selfie I sent them from the Waldorf Astoria saying, enjoy, you fucking bitches. Now you tell me, and you tell the security staff at the Waldorf Astoria why they've never heard from fucking Homeland Security.